My desk was my sanctuary, a place where I built worlds of horror from words. But one night, a new story found me. An old, leather-bound book, its pages stained and smelling of dust and something darker. Its title was Night. It seemed to write itself, predicting things before they happened. Just as I was trying to figure it out, my friend Ethan showed up. He glanced at the book and laughed. Wow, this looks like it came straight out of a horror movie. If only he knew. Then, a call from Sophia, a paranormal expert I'd consulted for my writing. Her voice was urgent. Lila, you shouldn't go there alone. That place has a dark history. She was talking about Blackwood Estate, the abandoned mansion I was researching. The same mansion NightInk was now writing about. The drive to Blackwood was like descending into a nightmare. Thick fog clung to the road, and the forest felt like it was watching us. Shadows flickering just at the edge of my vision. And then we saw it. Blackwood Estate. It was massive, terrifying. A skeleton of a house with broken windows like empty eyes. The caretaker, Marcus Vale, greeted us at the door. He was a strange man, his words dripping with hidden meaning. Welcome, but not everything here wants visitors to leave. As he spoke, I opened night. A whisper, cold and clear, echoed through the grand hall. Right, or face it. Sophia grabbed my arm, her eyes wide. This place. It's not just abandoned, it's alive. That first night, the mansion showed its teeth. Doors slammed shut on their own, trapping us inside. Ethan, usually so logical, was shaking. Sophia remained calm, trying to reassure us. But even she couldn't hide the tension in her voice. Whispers slithered through the holes, and shadows danced in the corners of our eyes. I glanced at NightInk, my heart pounding. It was all there, on the page. Everything that was happening. The book was predicting it all. Then, Ethan screamed. He saw something. Someone. Standing at the end of the hall. It was his exact double, just staring at him, silent and motionless. While he was trying to process that, Sophia found an old photograph, and the horrors it revealed from the mansion's past were unspeakable. The book in my hands suddenly felt cold. I opened it and gasped. My own handwriting filled the page, describing the fear I felt. Words I hadn't even thought to write yet. The house began to fight back. Rooms shifted, hallways stretched into impossible lengths, and windows vanished into solid walls. The whispers grew louder, more demanding. Write it, or die. Ethan, trying to prove his bravery, had his first real encounter. He saw a bloodied face materialize just inches from his own. He scrambled back, his skepticism shattered. It was then I understood. NightInk wasn't just a book. Every horror I wrote, every fear I described. The mansion made it real. We were trapped. Escape was impossible. And then, for the first time, we saw it. A towering silhouette of pure darkness standing in the corner of the room. A voice that wasn't a voice at all filled our minds. You cannot leave until the story is finished. The night deepened, and the mansion felt like it was breathing around us. Fog drifted through the broken windows, and hallways stretched into dark, endless tunnels. Marcus, the caretaker, trailed behind us as we explored, muttering cryptic warnings. Not all doors are meant to open. Not all rooms welcome the living. The pages of NightInk fluttered, revealing a new message. Fear will find you before you find it. Ethan tried to laugh it off. Seriously? Are we really letting a book scare us? But Sophia cut him off. Shut up, Ethan. You can't rationalize this. A moment later, he was alone and saw his doppelganger again. This time, it moved, mimicking his every action, but its eyes were empty black pits. He ran back to us, screaming. The book was writing it all, as it happened, predicting his terror. We found a hidden library, a place of dust and shadows. Whispers surrounded us, urgent and hungry. Right, Phoenix. On a table, Sophia found an old diary. It described the final moments of past victims, and their experiences were eerily similar to ours. Books flew off shelves as shadows danced between the towering stacks. Ethan, trying to regain some control, marched down a hallway, yelling, "Come on, show yourself. I'm not scared." It was a mistake. Ghostly figures, the minor spirits of past victims, emerged from the walls and dragged him into the darkness. We heard his screams and ran, but the hallway was empty. Moments later, every apiaret, pale and trembling, unable to speak. I read a page from NightInk aloud. It described his near-death experience exactly as it had just happened. The realization hit me like a physical blow. The book was dictating our reality. We were trapped in its story. The mansion became completely hostile. Rooms rearranged themselves. Staircases led to nowhere, and the whispers were a constant, maddening chant. "Write it, or die." Sophia pulled out a silver amulet, murmuring incantations to ward off the fleeting spirits that lunged at us from the dark. The main antagonist, the shadow figure, began to manifest more often. A silent observer in doorways, its presence sending waves of cold through the air. Pages of the book would fly open on their own, pushed by an unseen wind. Its voice echoed in my mind. "The story will end when I say it ends." I started seeing visions of my own death. The spirits cornered Sophia in the library, and then I read a new page in NightInk. It predicted, in horrifying detail, how one of us would die next. The shadow figure appeared, its form stretching impossibly tall, its eyes glowing a malevolent red. I knew then it was controlling everything: the book, the mansion. U.S. Sophia's voice cut through my fear. "We have to keep moving. Follow the story. Finish it." Behind a broken bookshelf, I found a hidden stairwell leading down into darkness. We descended into an underground chamber, a massive library where books floated in midair, lit by flickering candlelight. The whispers were deafening. "Finish it, or perish." NightInk glowed in my hands, its pages showing a coming confrontation. Suddenly, the shadow figure was there, towering over us, its crimson eyes burning. The walls rippled as it stretched its arms, its voice echoing through the chamber. "You are mine. The story ends only when I decide." Ethan panicked and lunged for a floating book. In Hun, instant spirits swarmed him, dragging him across the floor. Sophia began chanting, her silver amulet flaring with light, holding the spirits back. She shouted at me, "The book controls the mansion. If we stop writing, we die." A desk appeared from the shadows, and NightInk opened on its own. Ink flowed like blood across the page, forming words I hadn't written, describing all of our deaths. But as I read Ethan's predicted fate, an idea sparked. I started writing, improvising, changing the story. The spirits holding him vanished, and he collapsed, alive. The shadow figure watched, its eyes glowing with rage. Sophia discovered the creature's origin on ancient curse bound to the mansion and the book. As she chanted, the entire chamber shook. I wrote frantically, changing events, protecting my friends. The shadow figure attacked, warping reality around us. The floor turned to liquid, and the walls bent inward. I knew there was only one way to end this. With trembling hands, I wrote the final lines. "The shadow figure shall not claim the living." The story ends now. The creature roared as its form rippled and began to dissipate. NightInk glowed brightly, imploded, and with it, a part of my memory. A piece of my soul was gone. As dawn broke, we stumbled out of Blackwood Estate. The mansion was quiet now, but still menacing. The air was cold, the fog still clinging to the forest. The curse was weakened, but I could feel it wasn't gone. Sophia was right. We're lucky. I collapsed, exhausted. Ethan couldn't stop trembling. We had survived, but the night had scarred us. I looked down and saw a single, scorched page from NightInk lying on the ground. As I picked it up, new ink began to move across its surface, forming a final, terrifying message. "The story is not finished. It only sleeps." We looked at each other, a new fear dawning in our eyes. In the distance, through the morning mist, I could just make out a faint, familiar silhouette. It was still out there. I gripped the page tighter. Then we will be ready. Next time. Thanks for watching. If you want more stories like this, be sure to subscribe.